I bought this radio some time ago. It's from China. I bought this one from eBay. It comes with a kit. It comes as a kit. It's got a case. You provide 5 volts DC. It costs about $20. $11.73 plus $7 shipping. Now I found, and for some reason I ordered 3 of them, a similar but different kit on Banggood. When it arrives, I'll show it to you in a mail video and then do a construction article on it. In the event, this particular kit was sold by this fellow. Kit contains the enclosure. It's covered with protective paper. It includes a bag of hardware. And then it includes a speaker. I put it out of the way to prevent it from becoming damaged. And then a bag of components. The whole radio is built on one double-sided circuit board, nicely laid out. Typical Chinese board. And some other stuff. Now, I prepared this 2-page document. I just copied the seller's information and then I edited it. I changed it from Chinglish to more or less English. And there is a bill of materials. For example, this is a 6mm by 20mm long push button, 2 each. So once you learn how to read it, I mean, it's a bill of materials. And I called it bill of materials. I may add to this, add notes as I assemble it. The radio appears to employ all through-hole components, with one exception. This little fellow right here. It has 5 solder pads on each side. It's got a crystal on the bottom. It's a little circuit board. And it's got what I believe to be a 5767 FM module. That almost is surface mount. It lays right here. And that probably should be the first component you install. What I intend to do is hold it with this little binder clip. In the position I believe it to be. The silk screening and the photograph shows the crystal at the bottom. For this little surface mount or semi-surface mount component, I'm going to use this very small solder, 0.015 inch. Now that this little board is soldered in, everything else is just through hole. According to this, we have 11 10K resistors. And they are these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 10K resistors. And I see a bunch of 10K resistors right here. 2 here, 2 here, 1 here. Just bend the leads tight against the body of the resistor. Well, I ran out of 10K resistors. I hope I filled all the correct holes. In case you're wondering about these metal blocks, they are QRP Me. I have no affiliation with the gentleman. I do know he has or had a YouTube channel, but for building these kits with through-hole components, I've used these over. They're well worth the money. They're pricey little fellows, but certainly do the job. Trim the wires off, but don't trim them flush. That is, don't cut into the solder. Cut the wire on top of the solder joint. There are 2 more resistors, and they are 4.7 I believe that's, I'll have to check that. And a 220K. I can't believe that's a 4.7 ohm. So I'll turn the meter on. And actually it is a 4.7 ohm resistor. The color code's almost unreadable on it. So where might it go? There it is. A 4.7 ohm resistor. Looks like there's 5 transistors. 9012s. See if I can find 5 of them. Here's the 5 transistors. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I suppose this will resolve itself, but I only count 4 transistors. Now these are polarized. They're 3 terminal devices, but you look at the top of them, they're a little bit more than half a circle. The silk screen indicates the direction. So the silk screen indicates the direction of the transistor. Here's the flat side. Here are the 3 leads. So the flat side on all 4 of these transistors faces this way. Now the legs will need spread apart just ever so slightly to get them in the holes. Sometimes you can just do it. Sometimes you have to use a pair of pliers to bend the legs apart. Go down the line now and solder the transistors. We have some little capacitors. We are supposed to have 4 of the 104 series, and that's these. They're actually marked 104. Then we're supposed to have 3 of these 22 picofarad. I only see 2 here, but who knows, maybe I'd lost 1. Let's install them. We'll do the 104s first. Well, here's 1. Here is a 104. Try these 22s. 22 goes here. And the 22 goes here. We've got a crystal 13560 right here. We've got a 10 microfarad capacitor here. And in fact, it looks like we have two 10 microfarad capacitors. Now these are polarized. To date, except for the transistors, well, this little digit and this little fellow here, nothing's been polarized. Negative side is indicated by this white band. The positive is also most of the time indicated by the long lead. Now, these components here are going to be underneath this. The polarity is not marked too well here. Here's C7. You see the round circle, and then you see this half of it is white, except it's obscured by the solder joint. So that's the negative side. Sometimes these Chinese circuit boards will use a square to indicate the positive side. I notice that's not been done here. In any event, this capacitor, and I believe it's the only one to be like this, and I was going to put it in backwards. I guess I shouldn't do that. It's going to have to lay down like that. There we go. Okay, well, we have another 10 microfarad capacitor that goes here. And it's a little better delineated. See the hash marks? See the white hash marks? They correspond to the white side on the body. And this one, I believe, can just stand up. Then it looks like we have three 100 microfarad 50 volt electrolytic capacitors. They are also polarized. Negative lead is indicated by the white marking. Positive is long, but that's not always true. So you see how I've got the hash mark lined up with the white side. There's no reason it can't just be held down tightly. The other two go here. And here. So there it is so far. All the electrolytics have been installed. 4 of the transistors. The components that fit underneath this big IC. This is laid down flat.